Let me tell you a story about a boy who just wanted to make others happy. There was a village where many people struggled with their own problems, especially the young, with parents struggling with work to provide for their family, which leads to many of them being absent from their children's life, children who already suffer from loneliness. Some of these problems even included problems they had with another, which leads to some of them easily falling into their hurt. Then one day, out of the blue, a circus had come to their village, and with them, brought a colorful bunch of performers. Their show attracted many people's eyes, so many people showed up to their first show to see what it was about. There at the first show, the people had met 6 bright people. A boy named Ethan. He was the strongest of the group as he was the strong man of the circus, a strength that he acquired through his desire to protect those he cared for. An old man named Cosmo, the tightrope walker and the oldest of the group. Someone who knew how to balance everything, especially their own emotion, as he was quite wise. Another boy named Reese, the clown of the group, a boy who just wanted to make others laugh, so everyone can be friends with him. A girl named Sirius, the magician of the group. Someone whose magic is so good, men believed she was really a witch. Another girl named Lael, the tiger tamer. A girl who simply loved raising tigers, to when they were babies, and to their adulthood. She took care of them as if they were her children, and through her care, they put up a show for men to watch. A girl named Himiko, someone whose singing voice can light up anyone's day, including the night sky. A voice so beautiful, men immediately forget about all of their problems. These 6 people combined, they created the greatest show that anyone from the village had seen. The show had brought life and colors to the entire village, and those who had watched the show had hope injected into their mind. Families who struggle to keep a connection with each other have created a bond like never before. And those who struggle to find a friend have connected with people they wouldn't have in other ways. Relationships were created and healed, thanks to the circus. Truly, the circus had bright hope and smiles to the village. Especially to a boy, a lone boy. A boy whose parents never had time to spend with him. A boy who didn't have any friends and had trouble making them. When the circus had come around and heard all the magical things that came from it, the boy pleaded with his parents to go with him to experience the joy. But his parents saw no point to the circus, seeing it as a waste of their time and money.
Not even the circus could fix their relationship.
The boy, in anger, decided to go to the circus by himself without his parents. So, he stole some money from his parents and snuck away to see the circus in person. There, he got to see the circus live, meeting all 6 great circus performers, witnessing their glorious performance, watching them bring happiness and smiles to everyone who came to watch them, all by showing their talents to all. The boy enjoyed all 6 of them in their performance, but out of the 6 of them, Himiko was the boy's favorite. Easily falling in love with her voice, a voice so beautiful that the boy had mistaken Himiko for an angel from heaven, who came to earth in a human disguise. Himiko's singing had brought a warm comfort to the boy, and with it, fell in love with the circus as he felt that all of his problems had just suddenly disappeared into thin air as if it never existed in the first place. And from day forward, the boy would always sneak into the circus whenever he could just to watch all 6 performers perform live on stage. For years and years, the boy came to the circus to watch the magic live on stage, always feeling like he had found a place where he belonged. So when the boy became 18 years old, the boy decided that he would join the circus so he too could perform live on stage, to bring smiles and happiness just like the people he had looked up to for so long. Not only that, but use the chance to meet his heroes in person, the people who brought happiness and hope into the boy's life. So one day, the boy snuck to the backstage, and there he found the ringmaster of a circus counting the money he gained from their last performance. But not only that, he saw his heroes minding their own business. The boy then quickly ran up to Himiko and gushed over her, and even though he wasn't supposed to backstage, Himiko was happy to meet a fan who was happy to meet her in person. When the ringmaster asked why the boy was backstage, the boy responded that he wanted to be part of a circus as well. The ringmaster, wanting more performers in his show, decided that he would let the boy be a part of a circus, even though the boy had no experience himself. The ringmaster decided that boy would be a hooper, since it was the simplest performance that the ringmaster could think of. For a few years, the boy performed with the 6 performers for the circus, helping bring smiles and love to those who came to the show. Though the boy wasn't as popular as the 6 other performers, the boy enjoyed putting up a show for those who came. Because at the end of the day, the boy wanted to bring smiles to those who are going through a dark time, just like the 6 performers did for him. Though the boy got to perform a spectacular performance for a large crowd, the boy had witnessed the harsh truth behind the curtain of a circus. The ringmaster would be very demanding the performers to do multiple hours of work and practice for the next show. Doing nothing but working and training with only taking breaks just to eat, never letting the performances have time for themselves. The boy got worse, as the boy was new and not as experienced as the others. The boy was forced to do multiple hours of work, only getting breaks just to eat. Even then, the food he was given was small, but enough to get him through the whole day. But once he was done, he was forced back to work. Though the other performers had dealt with this kind of condition before, as the ringmaster had been putting through this kind of treatment for years. Like lowering their pay, feeding them less food, and overworking them. But chose to stay because they needed money and had nowhere else to go. But not only that, they knew the village they performed for needed them, as many of the villagers relied on them for their entertainment and their hopefulness to lift them up from the dirt. So all 6 performers stayed, so they continued to bring happiness to the village, who desperately needed it.
Even if it cost them their sanity.
Through these harsh conditions, the 6 performers did their best to bring comfort to the young boy, doing their very best to make him feel welcome and loved by them, since they know how it feels, especially for many years. Though the boy was treated harshly, their comfort and the continuations of making others feel happy helped the boy make it through these harsh treatment. Because of this, the boy considers the circus his new home, because in his eyes, the love of his colleagues, his dream becoming a reality, and the chance to make other people happy out of the harsh treatment. But one day, during one of their performances, Sirius was supposed to do a magic trick with one of Layla's tigers. A trick that she had done multiple times. A trick that involves putting a tiger into a small cage and putting a blanket over the cage, then transforming the tiger into a lady. But due to the ringmaster's greed, the tiger was forced to live in a smaller cage with terrible conditions, and was fed less, just so the ringmaster could save more money. Though Layla did her very best to make sure the tiger was the most comfortable it can be in its small cage, while feeding it food that she bought out of her own pocket. The tiger grew to despise small cages, so when Sirius tried to get the tiger into the small cage, the tiger immediately became aggressive. The tiger tried to attack Sirius, who panicked and punched it in the face in self-defense, which only angered the tiger, who then launched towards the crowd and started to mold on a child in front of the child's parents. The child was brutal, thrashing around in the tiger's mouth, blood gushing out of the child, who cried for his mother and father to save them, but they couldn't do anything to help. The tiger then ripped the child's arm off and started to devour it, leaving the child to bleed out and die. After the accident, the tiger was killed off by the authorities. The tiger, that Layla, who took care since it was a cub, a cub that she saw as one of her own, and the cub saw as its mother, was killed, all because the ringmaster decided to be greedy and give the tiger a small cage, which just angered it. For the 6 performances, the boy, and the circus as a whole, the village that the circus came into and brought smiles to everyone and brought hope to, had turned against them. The people blamed Sirius for the accident, believing that she caused the tiger to become violent. Not only that, but the people also blamed Lael, believing she must have mistreated the tiger, causing it to become easily angered. Despite having no evidence of this, they were blaming the fire, but not the arsonist. So the people came together and went to the circus and burned it down, destroying the only place that the boy and the 6 performers called home. But before the people burned down the circus, the ringmaster had run away from the village with all of the money he made from the circus. Some of the money being money that he owes to the performers. With the ringmaster abandoning them and having nowhere else to go, the performers were forced to stay in a village that hated them. A village that once looked up to them, as they brought smiles to them, and helped bring them together, and even healed broken relationships. Now despising them to their very atoms, mocking them and harassing them whenever they got the chance. The performers, especially the boy, had to hide as best as they could, just so they could have some peace and quiet, away from the hate. Though none had gotten it worse than Sirius, who had a hate campaign lead against her. The people who led this hate campaign were none other than the parents of a child who was molded to death by Lael's tiger. They wanted to make sure that Sirius would suffer for something that wasn't her fault. They wanted to make sure that no matter where she went, she could never escape the accident. Even though Sirius was sorry, and it wasn't her fault, it wasn't enough for the parents as they wanted to make sure that she was only known for the tiger accident. Believing that eye for an eye was justice, and what they were doing was justified, since a young and loving child was taken too soon. And when Sirius had tried to defend herself, she was shamed, as people believed she was trying to justify what had happened. And for those who sympathized for Sirius, were also shamed, ridiculed by people who believed that these people were okay with what had happened. The hate that was constantly sent to Sirius, it was too much for her.
So she took her own life.
After hearing what Sirius had done to herself, Ethan grew furious, blaming the parents for Sirius's death. So he decided that he would confront the parents himself and lecture everyone for their unjustified actions. But instead, the village came together and ran Ethan out of the village and into the woods, where many people consider him dead. The boy, who had witnessed the people he looked up to, the people who had helped him feel comfort through his lonely life. People that had made him feel welcomed and loved when his parents weren't around, and who inspired him to do the same. Who had helped bring smiles and happiness to men who had gone through the same struggle like him, to people who before the circus came, were miraculous and struggling to find any sort of happiness, was now witnessing the same people turn against them, harass them, and break their minds, to the point that they even caused one of the people he looked up to take their own life, and chased another into the woods, possibly killing him. Not only that, witnessing these people justify their actions as if they were not doing anything wrong. Because of this, the boy had easily fallen into his own hatred. And so, if what the village had done was justice, then what he was about to do
was real justice.
The boy went up to the remaining performers and convinced them to join his plan, reminding them what they did for the village, only to be treated like this. So together, they created multiple torches and
engulfed the entire village into flames, burning every man, women, and the children, down to their very flesh, to even their bones.
And so, those who were engulfed by the flames cried and screamed for mercy to the boy as if he was their god. But the boy would ignore them, just like how they ignore his and the performance's cries of pain. The boy looked upon those who were engulfed in flames with no emotions, as the boy wasn't satisfied. His hatred hungered for more and needed more. As for what the village had put him through, could have never been undone. Years of joy were thrown out the window, forgotten and replaced with hate. Something that led to someone he looked up to take their own life. So the boy damned them all to hell, where they'll continue to cry and scream for mercy. Where their skin will dry up like the desert, their vein will bleed like the Tigris and Euphrates. Their screams will be heard by all those who are awake and those who are asleep. They will plead and plead, but the boy's hate will always be stronger than their hope to escape their torment. But no matter what they were put through, the boy's wish would never be fulfilled, and he was always craved for more. Their hell is eternal, to now, to the very end, where death no longer exists. The blood bleeding out of their eyes, and their scent of fear, is a new heaven to the boy. The boy's name is
Segnis.